Hey, welcome back. Today is episode 2, teardown of the IS300. I'm going to see if I can try and get this thing pretty well yarded out and get it ready and hopefully get the head off today, but we'll see. I know I only grabbed my home tools today, so I know I'm kind of limited on what tools I have. At work I have obviously a ton of them, but this is actually my first time ever cracking open a 2JZ kind of internally. Obviously when I had first started out my career working on these cars, obviously timing belt, reseal, oil pan, transmission, just basic maintenance, seal. I mean, you rarely ever see problems with this until you start doing dumb shit like what I did with this. But anyways, this is actually gonna be my first 2JZ that I've ever torn down, like taking the head off, gasket, piston, internal stuff. So this is gonna be kind of a, I guess, learning. I know what I'm doing, but kind of a learning a little bit, taking these things apart. But anyways, I'm gonna try and get the turbo, exhaust manifold, intake manifold, get all that crap off, and hopefully get enough space off to where I can get the head off, and then we'll kind of leave it at that for the time being. So here we go, episode 2. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh man, I'm excited to get this thing torn apart here and start making some progress. Here, I'll just snap my fingers and this thing will be all torn apart. I'm just kidding, I'm not gonna do that. Hang tight. Okay, so step 1 here, because the throttle body is cooled, I guess. There's coolant flowing through the throttle body to cool it down. I'm going to drain the oil and the coolant. And actually I'm going to drain the oil just so you can see if maybe the head gasket blew, maybe the coolant got in the oil or something mixed. But regardless, I'm going to drain the fluids because all this crap's coming up. Oh, it's going to take a little bit. Here, show you guys. So inside the intake manifold here, there's this like little butterfly valve, and it is vacuum operated here with this little actuator, and I think it has something to do with trying to keep it more fuel efficient or emissions related, whatever. But I had found an old post on one of the forums, gosh, I think it was like 2008 or something like that. One of the guys that turboed his car, or one of these IS300s, I should say, he recommended removing that because he said it's great for when it's NA, but for turbo it's really restrictive, and it's just kind of like this butterfly valve in there. So I'm gonna do that this time, since I'm kind of taking this all apart. I'm gonna remove it. I think it's just vacuum, so I'll have to probably plug something, and then just remove all this stuff and make sure there's no open holes or anything. But anyways, got the part of the intake off here and the throttle body. Got all the hardware here. I'm gonna bag and tag everything and go set it on the shelf. And as you can hear the trickle Got the coolant still draining, so once that's done, I'll drain the oil. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get this manifold off, and I don't know if you can see, there's a ton of oil sitting in the manifold, so definitely there was some oil pressure and oil going places. I mean, I know you're gonna get blow by with this kind of, you know, setup, so I know that you're gonna get some oil, but I'm gonna be curious to see if there's an excessive amount in some weird places. So here we go. Quick little timeout here. So I forgot my masking tape, but you can easily take white little zip ties here and label hoses and like where they go, because if it sits for a while and you forget, then you're gonna sit there and go, crap, where did that one plug in? So anyways, that's just a little thing. I bring masking tape so you can label hoses and all that crap and stuff that's gonna stay, but I'm not gonna run home and get masking tape, so I just used what I had, little zip ties. So and also too, when you get everything, try and keep, you know, the bags with whatever part too. That also helps in case things get moved around or you end up, you know, rustling through stuff and having to look for it or whatever. But anyways, just most of that side. I forgot the freaking Allens to take this cover off, so I need to pull back the wire harness so that way I can get this other lower intake manifold part off. But in the meantime, I'm not going to go home yet to go get the Allen wrenches, but I'm going to start taking this turbo off. So I'm going to start taking the intercooler piping off and start undoing all this stuff. So So I got the turbo off, and dude, there is a shit ton of oil. I think that's some of that's sitting right there is moisture that's sat in there, but dude, there is just oil freaking everywhere, which is why it was smoking so freaking bad too. Yeah, dude, place your bets. I'm thinking the rings freaking went, and there was just oil everywhere. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to pull all the intercooler piping and kind of flush everything out. I'm a little concerned about the turbo because I'm thinking that oil's pretty nasty and it got fed through there, so I'm a little nervous about that. So I might see if I can try and take this all back apart and try and clean it the best I can, but not screw anything up in the process. But yeah, this is a oily mess. Good God, there's so much oil down in that downpipe. Jesus. Whew. All right, let's keep going. All right, well, I took a little break, went home, had gotten a few more other tools, but got the manifold off, got that cover off, got a few more of the wiring taken apart. Yeah, I've made kind of a mess. I got a ton of shit everywhere. So anyways, getting close to calling it a day here. I'm gonna see what else I can take apart here, kind of go from there. But I think I'm gonna get the fuel rail off and get a few other things undone here. But yeah, I got the downpipe, got all that crap out of the way. So I'm gonna just keep kind of plugging along here, but nothing super crazy or huge update here, just kind of taking things apart with what tools I have. So I think next episode we'll kind of go over just basically getting the head off, taking the time belt off, and hopefully getting the majority of this taken apart. So All right, boys and girls, I'm gonna call it a day here. I got pretty much, a good chunk of all this done. Got the manifold, everything on the exhaust side. Intake, I got the fuel rail off. I got a few other things I need to do and some other tools that I didn't have with me, but for the most part, made pretty good progress. Got the radiator out. We're making pretty good progress. I guess slow progress is better than no progress, as Sean Miller would say. But anyways, bag and tag everything, man. I got everything organized. I'll show you here. I'll have you practice what you preach, I guess. But it's like I got everything in bags, everything labeled. Just got to stay organized because I don't know how long this thing's gonna sit. And hey, in case if I die too and somebody needs to put it back together, everything will be labeled nicely and they'll know what to do. So anyways, this is gonna be the end of episode 2 here. I mean, I feel like I didn't get anywhere today, but I know I made some good progress. So episode 3, hopefully we'll get the head off. I gotta go to work and get some of my tools to take the cam gears off and get the valve covers off, and then get my I don't know what size the head bolts are. I know with other Toyota ones it's like a triple square or like a big Torx bit or something like that, so, or it's a 14 mil on some of them. Kind of vary. So I haven't looked up to see what size it is, so I have most of that stuff at work, so I'll need to make a little trip here, and I mean, once I get the head off, then then we start jamming here. So anyways, that'll be it for episode 2, like I said, and thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, subscribed, and like I've said a million times, man, we appreciate you guys and everyone who's watching. So hopefully this content was useful. I know I didn't video when I first built this because we didn't have the channel yet, but it's one of those things where hopefully some of this information, if you're thinking about turboing or thinking about taking the head off or doing something like this, hopefully it was helpful. I know I didn't go into great depth on exactly how everything was taken apart, but for the most part, if you're getting to this extent, then you should kind of know some of it, I guess. But anyways, hopefully this was helpful. Hit that like button, subscribe. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching.